Greetings, folks. Anila Horam here with a World of Warships Naval Alliance replay. Today we are featuring Captain Blackjack Honor, and he is in the premium Tier 5 Japanese destroyer, the Kamikaze. This is a standard battle on Solomon Islands. There are lots of destroyers on each team, and there are 2 aircraft carriers on each team. The captain has fitted out his commander skills with torpedo armament expertise to give quicker reload on the torpedoes. He has radio location to support tracking opposing ships and to avoid ambush situations. And he has superintendent to give him an extra charge on his consumables that helps support late game activities, which will definitely be needed for this match. Now, when the captain originally submitted this replay to his Naval Alliance colleagues for review, I kind of made the mistake of looking at the results screens first and kind of scratched my head a little bit and wasn't entirely sure what he saw in this match that made it replay worthy. But once I watched the match, I realized the message that he was delivering, and part of it is definitely instructional, and part of it is a little bit humorous. So as of late, I have tended to resist showcasing Kamikaze matches because the ship is borderline overpowered, and often these games end up being something where the Kamikaze player scores obscenely high amounts of damage, you get lots of kills, and it isn't very instructive, and it's just, and in some cases, just seal clubbing. But this is not going to be one of those cases. Now, regular viewers of this channel also know my dislike for the standard battle mode because they are often tactically kind of boring, and it's not uncommon that you see one team throw away a guaranteed win, and you can see other replays on this channel with examples of that. And there often is sort of this irrational persistence sometimes for a team to feel like they have to capture an opponent's base. However, once in a while, and this is going to be one of them, it is necessary to capture the opponent's base because that is the only way to win. The captain's opening engagement here is against an opposing Ochotnik, and the Ochotnik is a very potent gunship at this tier, but the captain is going to finally land a torpedo on that ship, claiming first blood for his team. However, the captain did pay for that engagement with about 2/3 of his health, and his damage control is still on cooldown, so he's going to need to pull back here for a little bit before re-engaging a little more safely. I've sped up the replay here because this being standard battle, a lot of the immediate action is kind of stale and not very interesting, but what is interesting is the tactical situation on the minimap. So the Allied team sent only 2 ships, the first of which has been sunk, and now the second which is just about to get sunk. So now the Allied team has no ships on the north flank. The opposing team has largely lemming to the north, so nothing is preventing the opposing team from pushing south down the east side of the map and threatening the Allied cap, which is exactly what's going to happen. Now, there is an Allied V-170 and a Wyoming that are near the Allied cap that will come back to defend, and now we do see the 2 opposing destroyers, or 2 of the opposing destroyers that are moving to affect the Allied cap and the aircraft carriers there. The captain has moved north here with some of his allies toward the opposing cap. The teams are even on ships, and they're going to stay relatively even for a while. But the opposing team has now moved into the Allied cap and is preventing the Allied team from getting points from their cap. And they both of the opposing destroyers will now go down here, but they did end up taking out one of the Allied bogues in the process. So the opposing team, the Allied team has successfully defended their cap, and there is an opposing Wyoming that is going to get sunk here by the V-170, but the V-170 is going to go down, and again, that's near the Allied cap. And then the remaining opposing ship that was near the Allied cap is actually turning around, and he is heading back to help defend his own cap. The V-170 goes down, but he did get his torpedoes off, and he was able to sink the Ishizuchi as well. So the Allied team is working with a 1-ship deficit, and the captain here is in the opposing cap to prevent the opposing team from getting points from their cap, and I've returned the replay to normal speed because here the captain is going to get dropped by the one of the aircraft carriers. He doesn't take any immediate damage, but he did have to use his repair party due to module damage, and his smoke is just about to come off cooldown, and he's going to activate his smoke as soon as it comes online, but he is being targeted by 2 opposing ships. There goes his smoke screen. The shells are on their way, and they do hit the captain and bring him down to a mere 37 hit points for the remainder of the battle. So the captain is going to stay in the opposing team's cap as long as he can, and he wants to obviously stay in his smoke screen so he's not visible to the opposing team. The allied Myogi, which is on the far north side of the map, has just taken 1 torpedo and is now being dropped by the aircraft carrier, and he is going to end up taking another torpedo and be sunk by the aircraft carrier. And so the opposing team still has a 1-ship deficit at this time. Now, the good thing is that there's no opposing ship threatening the allied cap anymore, but the other allied ship that is near the allied cap isn't in any position to support taking the opposing cap, which at this point really is the best option for the allied team to win, or at least they need to prevent the opposing team from taking points from their cap so that the allied team can be catching up on the points themselves. And we're about a minute away from being able to cap, assuming there's no reset. But the captain's last smoke screen has just expired, and the opposing aircraft carriers are vectoring planes to intercept. And again, the captain's only working with 37 hit points, so even a single bomb hit is going to finish him off for the game. Here comes the strike craft. And the first one is going to drop. And does no damage, thankfully. Now the second drop is coming in. The captain is maneuvering here to try to throw off the drop, and between that and, well, just frankly, the random number generator, the things have gone in the captain's favor, and he is not damaged by any of those bombs, and the shells that just came in from the opposing Wyoming, which is on the north side of his cap, also missed the captain as well. So we're only about 20 seconds away from capping out, provided there's no other resets. But the allied Wyoming, which is in the cap with the captain here, is obviously a much easier target to hit. Now, why this opposing Wyoming wasn't making a stronger effort to get into his own cap, I'm not sure. I feel like he had opportunity to move into the cap to at least prevent the taking, but it is going to be too late, and the captain is going to help cap out and win the game for his team. So not a very high damage game, pretty atypical for a Kamikaze replay, but it is a good demonstration of sometimes there are situations where you do have to cap in order to win. So I hope you enjoyed the replay and the commentary. Please do leave your comments below, and as always, we hope to see you out there, and we wish you happy sailing.